So now we're going to talk about Goa gotchas. Dun 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 dun. Goa gotchas.
Yeah.
Kind of rhymes.
A little bit. So Goa gotchas. The number one gotcha for Goa 1 is it does not have int 64 and int 32 types. It just has int. And that doesn't seem like it would be much of it important, except database IDs are int 64s. So you don't want just type int, because if the server is running on a 32-bit machine, you're losing part of your ID, which means you're getting the database wrong, which causes all sorts of headaches.
Yeah, so if your developer's machine is 32-bit, old school for whatever reason, just go get a new machine.
Yeah.
Now you have an excuse.
Or if you're running App Engine, we've got no clue what kind of servers we're running.
Oh, right.
So who knows what Google's actually running on
So what's the workaround on that gotcha?
So there's two gotchas, or two ways to get around that particular gotcha, depending on where your problem is. So the first way is in params. So if it's in params, what I do is I mark it as a string instead, because strings have unlimited detail. And then I've got this particular regex pattern, which is numbers only.
Yeah.
So this is, these backticks are for marking it as a string.
Yep.
This little upward caret means beginning of the string.
Yeah.
This dollar sign is end of string. So basically, the entire string must match this regex pattern here in the middle.
Yeah.
\d is a digit.
Yeah. And then as many as you want.
And then plus is one or more.
Regex is funny.
So this pattern here basically says, yes, I know it's a string, but it must be just a bunch of digits only.
It'd be funny to talk code with people like at a store. You know, just to the teller at the checkout clerk say, "Caret \d plus $." Does not compute.
Yeah. So this is...
That would be like funny YouTube videos, right? Like just go speak code to people in the real world and see how they react.
There's probably a YouTube video like that. So my team ID here, I've got it marked as a string. I've got this regex pattern, which will guarantee me that it's a number. I throw an example for all of these too. Goa generates examples automatically for everything, but in this case, its default examples can be like lorem ipsum text, which is so I give
not
it
applicable.
Yeah,
perfect.
So I give
Makes sense.
I give it as an example of numbers.
Nice workaround.
And then in my code, I run the string convert to convert it to an int64.
Yeah.
Just manually.
Yeah.
So since I only have to worry about that for IDs, it's not as bad.
Yeah. Now, a 32-bit machine can't run int64. I just
It
made
can. It can.
So I said go get a new machine, but that was an incorrect leap of logic on my part.
Yeah.
Why do some machines not do int64?
What Go does, if you say int64, it uses a slower. It'll work around it.
Mechanical sympathy, right?
It'll figure it out.
Oh.
So
it will.
If your machine's got support for 64-bit numbers, despite its bit number, it can use that. If your machine, for some reason, can't do 64-bit number, it'll insert background code to fake it.
Okay.
So you can just use an int64 normally. It's just not going to be fast.
So Go only does int.
Go only does int.
We need something that's specifically int64. And when you do int in Go, it ends up as int. And when you do int in Goa, it ends up as int in Go. And if it's int in Go, then mechanical sympathy kicks in. And Go says it's an int. You could be a 32 or a 64 depending upon the machine.
Depending on what your machine is.
Right? Yeah. And so it might end up as a 32. And so the workaround is just to make it a string, and it's always 64.
Yeah, make it a string, and then when you convert it, you can specifically say this is int64.
Oh, got it.
Make sure I've got enough space for that.
Awesome.
So that's for params. The other bit is if it's in a type, you can work around it using metadata. You can say this particular metadata flag is not actually well documented, but it is stable. The creator of Goa mentioned this one to me once, so it's around and is meant to be there. You say metadata, you give this very exact key, and you can say int64, and what that will do is it'll tell Goa when it makes the struct, replace the type with int64.
Cool.
So this does not work in params, which is why I have to use the string thing and work around it that way.
Yeah.
But if you're in a type, you can put this metadata
interesting.
in and say it's in 64.
Yeah, okay, so that's just like the intricacies of an intimate relationship. You find the weird nuances, the
Yes.
gotchas, and then you're like, okay, I won't ever mention caterpillars to that person. It freaks them out.
Yes.
Or whatever, right? And then you
Yeah.
like, okay, that's how I just work around. And
Yep, so Goa
That's
2
cool.
has support for N64s directly, and so you wouldn't need these workarounds.
yeah.
But for Go, since we're still using Goa 1
Yeah.
until Goa 2's workable, this is how I get around it.
Sweet. I like it. That was the first gotcha? Are there any more?
That was it.
Oh, that's the only gotcha.
Yeah, that's
Oh, there's only one.
That's the main one. I haven't
Okay.
really run into anything that's
Oh,
really worth
well, good.
mentioning besides that.
Okay, you have anything else to share in this video?
Not in this video. So
Alright.
next video, I'll point out security, how to force someone to be logged in.
Okay, let's do it.